This might be my last drive down the lake road to the monastery. Well, in the near vicinity of the monastery, because the maximum security prison that I'm having my open to the public meeting at, my hearing at, is kind of it's a stone's throw from the monastery. So one of the most important things I said at the beginning of this whole ordeal with the final step of my appeal is, hey, I just want to make sure that it's open to the public so that people can be there if I want them to hear what I have to say. Thumbs up was given on that. The location of choice, WRC, a maximum security prison. And when I smiled when I heard that answer, because I knew, I said, there is no way I'm going to have anybody setting foot inside of that building that's on my side. Absolutely not. So I probably could have raised a complaint then, but doesn't it make the story more cool? Hey, this is how Mr. Gurr ends his career. Walked through metal detectors. You know, hey, my wife said, I hope you're ready for that cavity search. I took a shower. I'm good. You know, like if it gets to go that far, well, you know, I'm not ashamed. I came into this life naked. I hope to leave it naked in the arms of my sexy wife. That's how every man wants to go, right? Well, that's not a bad way to go. My wife's just sexy. So I think that this is kind of a fitting story. And it's perfect in the fact that, wow, this is a very cruel end to a very otherwise legendary career. You know, if we go over the incidents of the stuff that's happened in 2024, you know, things were pretty good. I was on every committee under the sun, bringing positivity, bringing joy, going to write cartoons about air fryers, write books about patience, compassion, and teamwork. I was doing mood boost walks. I was bringing air fryers to power hours. I was sitting in a dunk tank, getting dunked. I was jump roping for heart, buying tons of gummy bracelets for all the contract workers that came from out of state to try to help us through a very tough time at the monastery. So things were really, really good. And then they weren't really, really good. Suddenly everything turned, and all of a sudden, boom! You know, instead of the good stuff, we had an email with my picture saying, this gentleman no longer works here. That was kind of sad. And then I got a phone call when I was at the park fixing my sign, and it was Big Red and Lady Voldemort, and they told me, you are terminated. I said, well, can I come in with my attorney and talk to you about it? Nope, it's too late for that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, can I at least come in and get my things? Okay. So I come in and get my things, and yeah, like Mr. Gurr has been around the block. Mr. Gurr has seen some stuff. Mr. Gurr doesn't talk about what he did before the monastery, but Mr. Gurr knows when there's a security situation going on. And yeah, the monastery was in lockdown mode when I came to get my dumbbell, my 30-pound dumbbell that I used to rehabilitate my arm. That was sad. You know, I never would wish harm on anybody out at the monastery. They're, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they're brothers and sisters in arms, and I have, you know, no ill intent to anybody out there. I want everybody to succeed. But yeah, so that kind of hurt the feelings. And then to add a little bit more to the story, the director, Blossom, hey, the way you like it, and security, and the chief of security, Master Chief, escorted me off the property. That guy was a domestic terrorist. Ouch. That was not a really feel-good moment either. So, and then everything that's kind of happened coming up to the final appeal, just, you couldn't believe just how the odds are stacked against Mr. Gurr. I've been in fights, and there's always that saying, I could beat you with one hand tied behind my back. Well, Mr. Gurr has both hands tied behind his backs. He's wearing cement shoes. He's got a blindfold on. Like every possible advantage has been given to the opposition, because it's the state. The state has to look good at the end of the day. It's important. So the thing is, I realize that, and I'm not complaining. It's if anybody tells you life is fair, they're idiots. This is. I knew from the get-go this was never going to be fair. So the only thing that I'm really concerned about is I have been promised that I will get a digital recording of the proceedings, and if that doesn't happen, I'll be very sad, because much like the movie Rocky, man, am I going to take a hell of a beating today. It is going to be so bad. Now, a lot of people would not want to put that on the internet and say, yeah, this is me just getting the absolute crap kicked out of me legally by professional lawyers, the best lawyers that the state of Wisconsin has. And it's just me. Now, I talked to some people and they're like, man, why don't you have representation? It's because I want to do this myself. I think that when it's all done and the dust settles, and if people take the time and go over the tape, they're going to see there's a gentleman that stood up for what he believed in. And even though my guess is everything that I say, everything that I utter today is going to be objected to, and why let me speak? That's kind of be the long and short of it. Is we don't want you to speak, so we're going to object to everything you say. That's okay, because after I say something and She-Hulk objects to it, I get a chance to say why I think it's important. And I think that'll be enough. So that's basically what the day is going to be. I think it's going to be me asking a question, She-Hulk objecting, and then me saying why I think the question is relevant. There is no doubt that I make YouTube videos. I'm making one right now. I've been doing it for 20 plus years. I have my journal in my blue backpack or carry-on bag or whatever, and I'm hoping that during the proceedings today, I get to take notes in my journal. It's going to be kind of cool using my journal to write down this final moment in Scootergate. One of the things that I would bring up at this hearing is that Lord Justice and the state of Wisconsin could subpoena my personal diaries. I have no problem with that. They can read them. There's nothing in there that I'm ashamed of. They could subpoena all 4 of my computers. Got a lot of computers. Mr. Gurr's got a computer for everything. He's inventing, he's working, he's building, always learning. They could take apart my hard drives. They're not going to find anything on there except some, wicked cool, appropriate pictures of my beautiful wife, who is just my angel and my inspiration. She wants to be there with me today, but she just knows she couldn't handle it. You know, like she cannot handle the cruelty that comes with the monastery. And there is no doubt that the world is cruel, but oh my gosh, the monastery, yeah, takes it to a whole nother level. And that's what I am going to try to dispel today. Because Mr. Gurr has soaked up a lot of cruelty over this last 5, 8, 10 months, or however long it's been. I've soaked it up. And I'm taking it with me, and I'm going to turn it into something beautiful. You know, my wife just wrote another awesome book called Reality and Ruins. It's amazing. I stopped reading it for now because I wanted to focus on the task at hand, but one of the first things that I'm going to do after Scootergate is in the history book is hey, it's time for the next chapter of Reality and Ruins. I'm very proud of my wife. So she said to make sure to give her a call when it's all done. She's hopefully not watching Daredevil right now, watching Matt Murdock face off against inmates and guards trying to escape a maximum security prison. Man, that's a good show. I made a joke with my brother. The villain in Daredevil is a large, bald man that wears a suit kind of just like this one, and he's called the Kingpin. And he's quite a dramatic gentleman. So the state of Wisconsin is going to try to paint me as the villain today. Of that, I have no doubt. And I feel that everybody is a hero and everybody is a villain. Heroic character and villainous character, kind of like love and hate. Well, my sweetie's gonna punch me in the face when she hears this, are on the same continuum. Kind of like kindness and cruelty. Like I've talked a lot about kindness, maybe too much. Maybe it's time to give that a break and start talking about Godmaker, making some wicked cool adventures and stories to inspire people. But yeah, kindness and cruelty are the same thing. They're just degrees on the same thermometer. So, but I wonder if Lord Justice controls the thermostat in his house. Because if you lower the thermostat by like 1/10 of a degree every day over the course of 3-4 months, you might not notice that, hey, it's getting a little bit colder, a little bit colder, a little bit colder each and every day. And I think that's what's been going on, not with just the monastery, with the world. Like, it's been a heartbreaking week. We had another terrible incident in Madison, the capital, where Governor Tony the Tiger hangs out and makes the world a better place. And then we have all this stuff going on in New Orleans. Cruelty never takes a day off. And my wife keeps telling me that the only thing evil needs to win is for good men to do nothing. And, well, today, Mr. Gurr's doing something. He's going to a maximum security prison, and he's going to take one hell of a beating. But at the end of that beating, as long as I'm still standing, I think I'm going to be all right. Kind of like Rocky. He didn't win, but he belonged in the ring.